He was sitting right in front of me, watching his own secrets unravel on a giant screen. A respected professor, award-winning, untouchable, and for 10 straight minutes he couldn't move, because every word, every message, every disgusting pattern was about him. If you've ever felt powerless against someone who hides behind status or authority, this story is going to hit hard. So make sure you stick around, because this is one of those moments where silence turns into something unforgettable. 3 years ago, I was in the middle of my master's in journalism. On paper, everything looked perfect. I was doing what I loved, surrounded by ambitious, creative people, professors who had built real careers in media. And then there was him. At first glance, he didn't look dangerous. He wasn't loud. He wasn't openly inappropriate. He didn't cross obvious lines in front of everyone. In fact, that was the problem. He looked normal, respected, admired even. People talked about him like he was one of the best media researchers in the country. He had influence, connections, the kind of reputation that makes people hesitate before questioning anything he does. But something about him made my skin crawl, and I couldn't explain it right away. Maybe it was the way he talked about himself constantly, like every class turned into a story about his achievements, or the way he watched people, especially certain girls. I had been through something in my past, something that sharpened my instincts. So when I say I felt something was off, it wasn't just a feeling. It was recognition. Still, in the classroom he behaved professional enough, careful. But everything changed during the trips. He organized these international student trips, conferences, media events, research presentations. Everyone wanted to go. Felt like a huge opportunity. I went too. And that's when I saw the pattern. Every trip he picked a girl. Not randomly. Always someone confident, friendly, outgoing. Someone who wouldn't immediately look like a victim. Someone who, if she spoke up, people might doubt her. And he'd approach her casually. Hey, just in case anything happens during the trip, give me your number. I like to stay in touch with students. It sounded reasonable. Safe even. Except it wasn't. Because once he had their number, it started. Late night messages. Weird videos. Him singing. Smiling into the camera. Saying things about kisses. I remember one girl showing me her phone. She didn't even know how to react. She just stared at the screen and said, "This is weird, right?" And I felt that same cold recognition again. Yes, it was weird, but it was also calculated. At conferences, he'd sit next to them. Too close. His hand would accidentally rest on their knee, linger just a second too long. Just enough to make them uncomfortable. Not enough to cause a scene. And when we got back, he didn't stop. He'd call them into his office. Private meetings. Closed doors. And suddenly in class you could feel it. The way he watched them. The way they avoided eye contact. No one said anything. Not out loud. Because how do you accuse someone like him? A man with influence. A man everyone respects. A man who could quietly ruin your future. So we stayed silent. Even me. And that silence, it eats at you. Because every time you see it happen again, you feel a little more responsible. A little more complicit. Until one day, I couldn't take it anymore. We had an assignment. Create a short documentary. 10 minutes. Any topic related to student life. And that's when it hit me. Not confrontation. Exposure. Careful. Smart. Undeniable. I wasn't going to name him. I didn't need to. I started gathering everything. The messages. The patterns. The details. I spoke to one of the girls. She agreed to share her story, but anonymously. We changed her voice. Hid her identity. But her words? Raw. Real. Uncomfortable. And I built the story around something bigger. Not just him. But power. Abuse of authority in academic spaces. The silence. The fear. The way predators hide behind credibility. Every detail pointed to him. Without ever saying his name. By the time I finished editing, my hands were shaking. Not from fear. From knowing exactly what this was. A mirror. And he was about to see himself in it. I submitted the project. One of my other professors saw it. And said it was powerful. So powerful it got sent to a media festival abroad. I didn't even fully process it. Until I found out it was selected. For premiere. And he was going too. The room was dark, quiet, full of anticipation. I walked in and saw him sitting a few rows ahead, and somehow, I ended up right behind him. My heart was pounding. Then the film started. First it was subtle. General talk about academia, power dynamics. He looked relaxed, maybe even bored. Then, the tone shifted. The first message appeared on screen. That late-night video. A man singing about kisses. I saw it happen. His posture changed. Just slightly. Then more details. More patterns. Then the girl's voice came in. Distorted. Anonymous. But her story was clear. The room went silent. Heavy. And I wasn't even watching the screen anymore. I was watching him. His shoulders stiffened. His head tilted slightly, like he was trying to disconnect from what he was hearing. But he couldn't. Because he knew. Every word was him. Every detail was him. No name. But no escape. For 10 full minutes. He just sat there. Frozen. When the film ended, there was a pause. The kind where people feel something. Then applause. Slow at first. Then louder. People were moved. They understood the message. But him? He didn't clap. He just sat there. Still. And for the first time, he wasn't in control. No charm. No reputation. No perfect image. Just a man who had just watched himself be exposed. Without a single word said directly to him. I didn't say anything to him after. I didn't need to. As I knew. He knew. Do I wish we had taken it further? Yeah. Maybe we should have reported him. Maybe more could have been done. But in that moment, something shifted. He lost the illusion of being untouchable. And sometimes, that's where it begins. If this story hit you, let me know what you would have done in that situation. And if you want more real, intense stories like this, stick around. Because sometimes the most powerful revenge is the one you don't have to say out loud.